Thank you so much for having me today at Connected Voice. I am so sorry that I can't be there in person, but I am here in spirit and I am wishing you well. I know how hard the team have worked to make this a great day for you, and I really hope you all enjoy it. The programme looks absolutely fantastic. Today, I'd like to talk to you about 3 things you need to know about where the sector is at with digital. And I also want to talk to you about how you can plan for the future based on this insight and improve the sustainability of your charity by using digital. To do this, I'm going to focus on data from the Charity Digital Skills Report, which some of you may have heard of. It's an annual barometer of where the sector is at with digital and the progress that has been made over the last year. So earlier this year, because we launched the latest report in July, in which we spoke to 435 charity professionals from all over the UK, from different sizes of organisations and from all sorts of causes as well. So what did we hear from them? Well, I'm going to focus on some of the insight from small charities because I know there are some small charities who are here today, and there are some insights in the report from large charities as well. I'm going to generally focus on charities at the smaller end of the scale. And the good news is that 2/3 of small charities are actively planning to make progress with digital. That's what they told us in the report. But we could also see from the data how small organisations need support with some of the fundamentals of digital. So more than half, more than 50% in fact, told us their top priorities were improving the website, their digital presence and their social media. They also wanted to develop their digital fundraising and build confidence and digital skills amongst their volunteers. For this to happen, charities need time to work out what they need and how these improvements can be made. And I know time is a really precious commodity in the sector, especially for small organisations. Having previously worked for a small charity for 5 years before I set up my own organisation, I know that time and space is a commodity that few people have. The most effective thing you can do to crack this problem as a team is to take a step back in the limited time that you have together. So even if you just set aside 30 minutes in your next team meeting to review what's gone well with digital during the pandemic, what could be improved, and what the next steps will be, that should give you some time together to reflect on what you have learned and to celebrate the hard-won progress you've made and to plan for the future. The key challenge facing small charities that came up in the report was that they need the funding to invest in devices, software and infrastructure. And this was a challenge which was experienced by 47% of the small charities that we spoke to. It really shows how, as a sector, we need funders to step up and support small charities who are the absolute lifeblood of our sector and our communities. And we need support for charities, not only in terms of income, we also need support for them to make the right decisions about the technology that is going to make the biggest difference to their staff and ultimately the people who your organisation supports. It's really vital that you have support from your board in doing this too, as they are likely to be the key decision makers about whether you invest in new tools or not. So my advice to you today is, can you help your board, maybe by taking them through some of the challenges and opportunities that their charities, that your organisation faces, maybe by connecting them with some trustees from another charity who had to walk the same path as you. Finally, 44% of small charities told us that they want funding for training for staff and volunteers. And until funders start stepping up and actually funding this, what can you do? Well, find other charities in your area who've made progress skilling up their people. Maybe you can even find them at this wonderful event today. Maybe that's your goal, to find someone else who's growing their skills in the coffee break? Can you share those skills, whether it's through mentoring or even spending an hour with their team? Have they solved similar problems to you? And what have they learned? What do they wish they'd found out earlier? And how can you help them? Throughout the pandemic, we've seen how the amazing grassroots support in communities led by small charities helped millions of people across the UK and held the country together during a time of global crisis. Hold on to that sense of collaboration, innovation and resilience as you approach the next stage of your digital journey. We hope that we will see more signs of positive change in the 2023 Charity Digital Skills Report. And we need you to tell us what you think when the survey to build the report opens in the spring. So please do keep an eye out for it. And we encourage you to get involved in it and make your voices heard so that we can lobby for the change that you need from funders and the wider sector. Thank you for listening.